So this is the second lesson in American philosophy. We discussed in class, we went into depth about the Puritans. The previous video I uploaded, I spoke about the Calvinists. Now I'm going to get into the meat of the matter, which is the Puritans. So Calvinism evolved into Puritanism when the Calvinists set foot on American soil. Think about the word purify. What does the word purify mean? To remove contaminants. So basically, they wanted to purify religion because the European way of religion was contaminated to them. So the Puritan movement began between the 1600s and 1700s. The Bible was applicable to all aspects of life. They wanted to practice what was dictated in the Bible. God was the only authority. So they believed that the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church did not follow all aspects of the Bible. As I said before, they were being persecuted as dissenters, and philosophy, it served as their comfort. Religion is like the theme of the oppressed. That is a Marxist perspective. So because in a capitalist society, the bourgeoisie would exploit the proletariats by introducing them to religion through religion, because the proletariats would not revolt against the bourgeoisie if they because they believe that after probably suffering an injustice kind of life on earth, they will have happiness. They will achieve happiness in the afterlife. So the idea of Puritanism, it was based on 5 points. TULIP. T stands for total depravity. Human beings are damned, which is a state of sin. So from Adam and Eve days, because Adam and Eve sinned, we are all born in sin and shaped in iniquity. We can't help but to sin. So the U means unconditional election, predestination. God chose those who are knowledgeable about him. The elected are chosen before God created man. It occurred before the process of cause and effect. So to the Puritans, it differs from the normal mode of Christianity. Well, not, I wouldn't say normal, from the mainstream mode of Christianity. The mainstream mode says that we should live a righteous life in order to achieve the big reward, which is to go to heaven. However, they believe that the Puritans believed that God already chose the elected. The elected are those who are destined to go to heaven, but they aren't but no one knows who are the elected and no one knows who are the unelected. So the L stands for limited atonement. Jesus, he did not die to save all humans. He died for the chosen ones. I means irresistible grace. The elected will eventually come to the knowledge of all. P, the elected cannot resist the call. So once you are elected, there is no going back. You can't be unelected. You are just elected, and nothing will change that. P means perseverance of the saints. Once saved, you are always saved. So the Puritans, they were influenced by, they believed that God made everyone free, and that under the Pope's control there was capitalism, there was no freedom. They were influenced by John Locke's social contract theory because he opposed the monarchical system of government. So that concludes today's lesson. The Puritans, they were Platonists as well. They were Platonists as well. They believe that they believe that that rationality came from the soul, and that the soul was rational. They did not appreciate the dichotomy between body and mind created by Descartes because it makes it difficult to understand God as art and as being and as spirit and as soul. Under Catholicism, all ideas of truth, right, duty, and being derive from ordained representatives of deity. The Pope and the clergy. The revolution of Martin Luther King Jr. was to the effect that individuals can attain salvation through personal faith and liberty to know the will of God, through personal reading and interpretation of Scripture. They repudiated calls for individual liberty as true representation in a democratic fashion without divine direction provided by the clergy. The Puritans regarded as corrupt liberties that did not recognize the primacy of the deity. They developed distinct type of independence involving Platonic idealism. They believed the Platonic idealism. Plato believed that in the world of becoming was only a copy of the transcendental realm. The Puritans, they believed in their view was similar because they believed that once you use rationality, you can see the truth. The truth that is set by the Pope is not the truth, and that the truth comes from self knowledge, and it comes from forming a private worship with the Lord. They did not depend on the biblical revelation of law and covenant. Their system was more philosophical than biblical.